Welcome to the bigger picture. Welcome to today's top 10 video. Today we are finding out the top 10 strangest US town names you probably never knew. Everyone knows the huge range of towns in the USA that range from fascinating built-up areas to places that could be the setting of a cowboys and Indians film. This list is going to explore the US towns with more bizarre names that most people have never even heard of. Number 10, Accident, Maryland. Drivers are advised to be extra cautious while passing through this unique Maryland town of 325. If an accident occurs, they'll need to wait for the police to fill out an accident report. And should the accident involve a local resident, it's no accident that accidentals look out for one another when accidents happen. The story of accident begins with, well, an accident. In the early 1770s, Marylander George Deakins was in line to receive 600 acres of the colony's land from King George II of England as a royal debt payment. He claimed the finest land in all the land that rested between two distinct white oak trees and was roughly the same size as that promised to him. A nod to the coincidence, Deakins dubbed the area the Accidental Tract. Accident wasn't officially incorporated as a town until 1916, meaning no one bothered to think of a better name for over a century. The Drain House, which dates to 1798 and was among the first structures built in the settlement, still stands today. That's all for Accident, Maryland. Now on to the next town. Number 9, Buttsville, New Jersey. Welcome to Buttsville, a tiny unincorporated township in northwestern New Jersey that aligns with the state's stench-tastic derogatory nickname. The armpit of America. More PC than Asperg and more risque than Tushytown, Buttsville was bestowed its bootylicious name in 1839 by Michael Robert Butts, who purchased the land from a local gristmill operator. Butts built a hotel at which several generations of little Buttses continued to stay and work for decades. Then as now, there aren't many Butts in Buttsville, as the current population is less than 150. Notably, Michael's son, Charles Wilson Butts, became a second lieutenant in the Union Army during the Civil War. He later served as a congressman from South Carolina before founding a town of his own in modern-day North Dakota. Its name? You guessed it. Buttsville. Then a frontier village, the North Dakota location is now a ghost town, meaning Americans, unfortunately, can't pick their Buttsvilles. Number 8, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. This small city in southwestern New Mexico exemplifies the fact that our choices have consequences. Because it's arguably the stupidest name of any town on this list. Why? Because Truth or Consequences, which locals call TRC for short, already had a terrific name that spoke to its distinctive appeal and, from a tourism perspective, its destination-worthy allure. The town is located near Elephant Butte Dam and Reservoir, another ridiculous name, part of a large-scale irrigation effort under an early 20th century Land Reclamation Act. Truth of Consequences still comes up on lists of best spas in New Mexico, which adds to the attraction of the town, intriguing plenty of tourists and bringing in plenty of money for the residents of this very weirdly named town. Number 7, Humptulips, Washington. Located 25 miles north of Aberdeen, famous as Kurt Cobain's hometown, this tiny burg was, like much of western Washington, once a major logging hub. In fact, the term Skid Row comes from a well-worn pathway down which woodsmen would slide felled trees in the hilly city of Seattle. Humptulip is one of the rare ridiculously named places whose origin story is as funny as its current designation. The name derives from a local Native American word meaning hard to pull. Number 6, Swastika, New York. Swastika is a tiny hamlet located in Black Brook, a town in Clinton County, which sits about 45 miles south of the border with Quebec. The controversial name associated with the German genocides from 1930 to 1940 has been questioned by many, as some see it as offensive or disturbing and wish for the town to be renamed. The strong views and negative connotations presented around this town were taken into consideration, and the councillors had a vote deciding whether the town name should be changed or not. The 4 councillors made a unanimous decision not to rename the town, which still exists today, along with its infamous Swastika Road in New York. Many still argue about the name of this strange town today. Some say the swastika had been used for thousands of years in Indian culture and was a fashionable symbol in the West, which granted people good luck before it became linked with the crimes of Nazi Germany, and therefore it would be bad luck to change the name. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Number 5, Boogertown, North Carolina. A suburb of Charlotte, North Carolina's state capital, Boogertown is an unincorporated community of Gaston County in the southwestern part of the state. The name derives from illicit moonshine-making operations. Data on exactly when Boogertown earned its nostril-clearing name is spotty, but many believe it also stems from the American Prohibition period of the 1920s and early 1930s. But what does this oddly named town have to offer? Well, attractions include the North Carolina Science Museum of Natural History, the sprawling Rankin Lake Park, and, for vintage goods enthusiasts, an acclaimed 28,000-square-foot antique store called Gaston Pickers. And that's about it for what Boogertown has to offer. Number 4, Nekemstiff, Ohio. This violent-sounding south-central town has a population of 56,000, one of the more populated places on this list. The town has many myths and stories surrounding why the town is named Nekemstiff, but the truth is not as entertaining as some of the beliefs created by the people of the town. The likelier explanation for the town's odd name is both more entertaining and historically referenced. Moonshine. During the American Prohibition period, which banned legal alcohol sales from 1920 until 1933, Nekemstiff was a haven for potent amateur concocted spirits. They were so popular that branding was common. The area's moonshine frequently carried inventive names like Coffin Varnish, Tangle Leg, Stagger Soup, and, semi-eponymously, Nekemstiff. Number 3, Satan's Kingdom, Massachusetts. Satan's Kingdom has competing origin stories. The first dates all the way back to the 1670s, when European settlers first came to the area during a 3-year conflict called King Philip's War. Also known as the First Indian War, the violence pitted indigenous tribes against English settlers and certain native allies. Oddly, the war gets its name, not from European royalty, but rather from a native chief called Metacom, a Wampanoag tribe leader who adopted the moniker Philip in honor of the friendly relations between his father, Massasoit, and the Mayflower Pilgrims of a generation earlier. In this version, Satan's Kingdom denotes the especially brutal battles in which the Native Americans fought to keep the land they'd called home for centuries, if not millennia. However, historians note that the area now known as Satan's Kingdom lies about 10 miles from the fiercest fighting. A more plausible explanation comes from a coincidence combining the divine and the natural. Number 2, Nothing, Arizona. Nothing is the antithesis of prime real estate. The settlement lies 100 miles northwest of the bustling city of Phoenix and about 20 miles south of Wacupe, known as the rattlesnake capital of Arizona, which is about as comforting as being called a rabid raccoon mecca or, like Churchill, Canada, a place where 1,000 flesh-eating polar bears roam the streets. Nothing lasts forever, including nothing. Today Nothing's population is nothing. 0. A signpost there reads, "The staunch citizens of Nothing are full of hope, faith, and believe in the work ethic." Through the years, these dedicated people had faith in nothing, hoped for nothing, worked at nothing, for nothing. There's not much more to say about this town, Nothing. Number 1, Virginville, Pennsylvania. A lot of people love this name as the childish side of us all likes to laugh at it and make jokes. Although Virginville may technically be a village, I think we can all agree it deserves to be on this list. Virginville is a census-designated place in Richmond Township, Berks County, Pennsylvania. It is located at the junction of PA 143 and Crystal Ridge Road and is approximately 7 miles to the south of the borough of Lenhartsville. The community was designated as the Virginville Historic District by the National Register of Historic Places in 2000. As of the 2010 census, the population was 309 residents. The origin of the name Virginville is obscure. Some say it is the English translation of a Native American word, while others believe the community was named for virgin forests in the area. Virgin may be an alternate translation of the Indian named Maiden Creek, which runs through the town and meets up with Sacanee Creek. The hamlet was designated the Virginville Historic District by the National Register of Historic Places in 2000. The district encompasses 80 contributing buildings built between 1874 and 1930, with residential, commercial, and institutional buildings that were constructed in a variety of popular architectural styles, including Gothic Revival and Italianate. So folks, that's all for today's top 10 strangest US town names you never knew. We hope you enjoyed this insight into the more bizarre side of the US. Be sure to subscribe for more content just like this and share this video with your friends to see what they think. Tell us which name you think should have been number 1 in the comments down below, and don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video.